Because I said so. Because I said so. Because I said so. Because I said so. Because I said so.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Because I Said So podcast, where we take those classic mom sayings and turn them into today's best conversations. I am the daughter to Nicole.
And I'm her mother, Lakeisha, here to make sure that she remembers where she got all of her wisdom.
Girl, boo. Anyway, today's episode is You Going Out Like That, featuring my older sister, Chasia, aka CC.
Hey.
Welcome to Biz.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome Toots. Okay, so in this episode, we explore the tension between teen self-expression and parental expectations when it comes to clothing choices. We talk about setting boundaries on what's appropriate, how to handle disagreements over outfits, and the importance of balancing individuality with family values.
Because like our mom says, there's always a reason behind every because I said so.
I know that's right,
That's
sister.
right.
But listen, if there's a topic or a question that you guys want to ask us, feel free to DM us on any platform at The Biz Podcast. That is the BISS Podcast. And who knows, your question could literally be featured in our next episode. Hello. And also, we love to hear your stories. We want to hear your own because I said so moments. So please make sure to DM us on Instagram at The Biz Podcast because we want to hear from you guys.
Absolutely. And all right, before we dive in, as always, I have to put out my disclaimer.
Go ahead,
let
Mama.
you know that every parent, every teen, every family is different. What works for one household may not work for another. That is okay. I am sharing my experience as a mom, and while I've been through a lot with my own kids, I certainly don't have all the answers, nor do I act like it. Parenting is a journey, and we're all learning as we go, so take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't, and always remember to trust your own instincts. At the end of the day, you know your child better than anyone. This is just one mom's advice because I said so.
Exactly, Mom. So everybody grab your snacks
Or some tea.
Relax and let's dive in.
because sometimes the best conversations come with a little bit of motherly love. Enjoy the episode, guys.
Enjoy.
All right, let's do it now. Read it good. Have this conversation
Like
we
you should. Right now, get good. So, first question of the night. How do you balance honoring your teen's self-expression while maintaining family expectations around modesty and appropriate attire?
I can start. So, let me say, when Mom had the three of us, she really birthed three different individuals. Like, none of us
Truly.
are alike, I would say, in any way. Maybe we have some similarities, but, like, when it came to fashion, we were all different. I would say I was, like, very much, Cece would definitely agree. Even though I was all up in Cece's clothes, I was, trying to show my stomach anytime I could.
Being fast.
But I don't know. But I don't feel like Mom was ever like, don't do that. I think Mom, if anything, showed me definitely like senior year of high school that like whatever you put out in the universe, everybody can see. And so I kind of started to like just be more mindful of like what I was wearing, depending on I guess like the location, like especially church. I was like, okay, yeah, girl, stomach with the belly piercing is not cute.
It was a couple of scenarios where I had to have you like put something over that, ma'am. Like,
Yes.
okay, fine, from the waist down, we're good. Let's put something on top of that. So,
And
we're not trying to invite that type of energy.
And I think it was different though too because denim blossomed a little bit more.
That is
like,
true.
At her age.
Sooner.
Yeah, she blossomed.
That is very true.
So
Probably around like what 12, something like that. So yeah, that was a big change up. And then also you were an athlete, so you were more like baggy shorts, baggy clothes, gym shoes.
Sweats,
I mean, we were. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. We got maybe some stomach coming in there, especially like once we got to Los Angeles.
Definitely.
I feel like I remember.
Showing, I feel like honestly she started showing her stomach more like, if not senior year of high school, then like early college. Like Cece was not very
I just
show
didn't need
skin.
She
to.
was very conservative. She was very
Yes.
I
conservative.
did.
Why is that, Cece? What was that? Were you just very self-conscious?
I don't know. I just kind of was. I think I just think about what people be thinking too much. I just be like, I don't know if it'll look right, with me wearing it. I'm just so because I'm so used to seeing myself in like sweats and making that change and be like, it's just different. I don't know. It was just.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just
Yeah.
just try. Let me see what it'll look like, and it was cute. So
I do want to ask you, like, did you kind of have like at all any FOMO or anything as far as the way you dress? I know that you, like mommy said, you were a student athlete, a girls basketball athlete. I know that typically, like, there's a expectation for typical girl basketball players to, be gay or like more, stud like. So, like, did you have any issues with that?
uh, no, I just think I just dressed comfortable. Like I wasn't really even at the time. Like I'm young. When you're a kid, you're not really thinking too much of it. Like it's present, especially like middle school age and stuff like that. Like it's present. People talk about it, but I wasn't really like thinking about stuff like that. I was just kind of like, oh, I just picked up on how basketball players dressed or how my cousins were dressed because they played basketball. I'm like, okay, they wear some sweats. I'm like, it's actually, I'm like, those are pretty dope. I like those. They're comfortable and
Yes.
yeah. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, even with that stigma though, I just feel like it's a stereotype. Just as anything or anybody else has a stereotype. For basketball, I mean, it could be annoying sometimes, but I mean, if you just rock who you are and the people around you just know who you are, then you don't have to prove anything. They come up with their own stigma with however they analyze you. So
That's right. I like that.
hard on it.
Yeah, that's true. So, and I will let me make a point on this one. Just because she was not like, you know, name brand on this side, she was on this other side. So, regardless of what the dress was, it wasn't a cheaper situation. I can tell you that because she wanted all the gym shoes that were out. She wanted all the latest clothes. I think I said another episode, like she was like into D Rose for a whole era while he was in Chicago. I mean, for an era. While he was in Chicago, definitely. I mean, everything. Gym shoes, flip-flops, shoes, clothes, and then, just Nike. So she just, that was just her style. So,
I was into it though, especially them D Rose. CC, do you remember when I like, wore your D Rose for a game? Y'all, at some point, I wanted to be my sister so bad. Like, I would say probably like fourth grade, if that was fourth grade year. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, fourth or fifth, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, because then them played basketball. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. She was very aggressive. Now, she was busy going nowhere, but she was very aggressive.
Heard the clip.
And let me just say, guys, I only retired because I was too good. Let me just say I was too good for the sport, guys. Y'all didn't need me on the court. I would have been killing them. Literally killing them.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, so as far as the question, as far as maintaining like family expectations, I just felt that as long as it wasn't too outlandish, again, we lived in LA during this time for denim, so she mixed in with the rest, I guess, of the population. So I didn't think that she was too far out there in regards to things that she wore. So I didn't really so much mind it. And then as she was once she got into high school too, she was doing dance, so she started to slim down and all that stuff. So I'm sure she was feeling very self-confident and
Because at some point I was a little, I had a lot of baby weight on me and I was very insecure. And then I started doing music way more when we moved to LA. More so right before freshman year of high school was when it was really, if anything, like taking off more so. And now, if anything, I was trying to express that I was the superstar. So my fashion definitely changed, and I did kind of deal with the season where I felt like I needed to be sexy in order to to dress well or to come off as like a superstar. And in reality, I was like, barely 13, 14, and I didn't need to do that. So, yeah, I definitely had to explore, do trial and error, see what I liked and didn't like, how I felt and didn't feel. And over time, honestly, like, I kind of stopped wearing tight clothes, and we'll kind of get into that, like, the why a little bit later. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't think I had a problem like expressing myself through my clothes.
No, not at all. Next question. At what point do you let teens have full control over their fashion choices, even if you disagree? When they're out of the house, I would say. I mean, to have complete control,
You said when they're out the house?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, even now, like, if you call me and show me something and I don't agree with it, I'm going to let you know how I feel. But, for the most part.
Like 10. Nah, I mean, even before that, sometimes it just depends on the kid though too. And I mean, because like we said before, different kids blossom or advance earlier than others, or may have a better sense of style than somebody else, or know how to color code something better than somebody else. So
yeah,
I mean, this kid.
I mean, and we're not talking, when I'm saying full control, I'm not saying you can't pick out your clothes. I'm saying, because of course you guys picked out your clothes since you were very young. I'm just saying to where I would not have a say so. I don't know. I'm mom. I always have a say so. So it's just what it is.
Because you said so.
Because I said so. Yeah. So did you guys agree with that?
I feel like I disagree with you, Mom. I think teens should have, a choice, like a full choice on their wardrobe. Do parents input? Is parents' input important? Yes. And if I call you between the ages of 16 through 18 or 19 about my wardrobe and I want your opinion, and you said this, that, or the other, then that's what it is. However, if I put something on, I mean, like, that's pretty much all my choice. But if you see me and I got too much something out and you want to tell me and let me know so that I don't go out looking crazy, like, of course, your parents should always be able to at least, like, tell you how it could be better or maybe more appropriate for the event, but not, don't wear this, don't wear that, because, I don't know, that's just not what they're feeling. Like, Mom, if I was, like, in the streetwear heavy and I was wearing all this, like, emo rock stuff, like, I wouldn't want you to tell me what to wear, because that's me trying to express myself, I don't know, in a different way. But, like, if I'm going somewhere and maybe something is too revealing, like, okay, definitely tell me. You know?
Exactly. I think if anything would have popped up, that would have been the thing that popped up.
Yeah.
Over time. So.
You agree, CC?
Yeah, I mean, I would just piggybacking off of you. I would say, so if we're talking in that aspect, then I would say 18, because I feel like once a kid is, past 18, it depends on if they still living in the house or not. Like you said, once they out the house, then it's kind of like, if your mom is just kind of like, I don't want you to wear that. You can't wear that outside. You still live under her roof and it's her rules. Then by any means, you got to abide by that. But I think like it's kind of like both and both. I'm kind of back and forth with it. It just depends.
And I mean, it's not something I had to really address a lot. So, I mean, it's not like it came up very often, but of the few times where I questioned it, then you would look for an alternative or something to add on top of whatever it is you were wearing. So, next question. How do you approach conversations with your teen about what is and isn't appropriate to wear? What was my approach?
Mom, honestly, I feel like it wasn't something that's like, hey, let's sit down and have a conversation about like what's appropriate and what's not. Like, it wasn't that. It was like, it was literally, you going out like that? It was literally that.
You just didn't say nothing and you just let us go. Because I'll look back at
it like this.
I was like, why did she let me walk out the house looking like that? Like, she ain't tell me, like, that just didn't go, or like.
Because y'all wore me out sometimes. That's why. And I'll be like, so she got a mirror. She got a mirror in her bathroom.
Back and some of them pictures, I'm like, I can't.
No, not she got a mirror.
No, it was some time, but especially Cece, because you have to remember, Cece is like the first girl. So she was like, we did some, exploring, like when we first were getting into weaves, for instance. And she got
let's not bring that up.
No, I'm gonna insert a picture of that too, y'all. Here y'all go. Here you go.
No. Burn, it gotta
And
get burned.
so we let a family member do her weave. I guess it was kind of like a quick weave because
Oh man.
she had these big braids in under it, and then the weave was sewn in on top of that. Poor baby. I didn't know no better. See, we know we kind of came up together with that one. And I was never one to really wear weave, so I didn't know no better. So
I'll tell y'all the backstory, because have you ever seen Beyonce Destiny's Child girl, when Beyonce is walking down the street and she got that like 40-inch bust down blind, and she turned her head and go like this in slow motion, and you just see the layers, like the hair just. That's what I had in mind. That's what I had in mind. That's what I thought it was going to but just otherwise, I don't know if it was just too hot or too humid in Chicago. I don't know what was going on, but I had a mushroom bob.
Not a mushroom weave.
Africa and Brazil was not getting.
Oh man. Oh man. All right. Well, that wraps up segment 1. Now going into segment 2, we are talking about self-expression versus parental concern. Whew, it's gonna be a good one, y'all. All right, ladies, first question. Should there be different standards for boys versus girls when it comes to clothing choices, or should the rules be the same across the board?
I mean, of course, there are going to be some differences for boys versus girls. I mean, I guess unless your son is wearing like revealing clothes or something like that, so that would be a totally different thing to talk about. But I mean, typically, again, my experience, your brother was very easygoing. So really, he was not. Like, we didn't really get into name brand until probably junior high with him. And it was still even kind of like low key with that. Like, it wasn't something he demanded. It was a couple of things he liked. Like, he would request maybe a couple of different pair of gym shoes, something like that. But he was kind of like, no fuss, no muss, So as far as that goes, I had it very easy with Neil. So, and then comparing that to girls, again, then I had Cece. So, she really was closer to that. She was very conservative, how she dressed. And then as she got into sports, it became very athletic. So then, then denim comes and she's totally different. So...
Then denim comes and
reveal.
So standard wise, it was naturally very different. It was different for all of us, even Cece and Neil, because they would be like denim, at first, like when you first started dressing up and things like that. So it was, it was a pill for all of us to have to swallow, because you're the baby, and you were like 8, but you were like 30, so it was like.
Truly.
No, that's so true.
No, so it wasn't at 8, but yeah, when she was getting into her teens or whatever, it was, she was definitely like a teen, but thought she was super grown. So
I did want to say to the question, I do think that the standards for men and women should be different. Honestly, for years, I would have said the exact opposite of this answer, because I want it to be equal. But unfortunately, that's just not how the world is. And I've noticed when some men go to, the standards of what a woman would set, then society, picks them as a more feminine man, or they're not man enough, or they're not masculine enough. And that's just like, well, I don't know, just what it is right now in today's world. So I definitely feel like there should be different standards for boys and girls. At the end of the day, I'm really big on wear what makes you happy and what makes you comfortable. That should be the bottom line, period. But yeah, there should definitely be different standards for boys and girls. Yeah.
Okay, what you think, Cece? You like the boys? You like when their pants off their butts?
Oh no, I can't. I work in a high school. can't stand seeing the fellas like just sagging, like butt out, cheeks out. You can see the design of their underwear. They got Rick and Morty Estica boxers, like sunset. You see portals.
You're like, okay, Rick and Morty, but
I was
the boxers, I don't need to see them.
I told him, I said,
Where'd you get those from, actually?
Right. I'm like, I Rick and Morty. I'm like, I need you to pull them up for me. Like, it's just, I feel like the boys, the fellas need to be held to a higher standard as well. And I feel like a lot of boys see, they see sagging, they're like, oh, sagging is cool. It give you a little swag, or it add a little something to the outfit. Like, no, you can still have swag and have your pants pulled up and still look right and still look the part. Like, you have to prepare yourself for life and going out into the real world. Like, you can't go into I'm not saying everybody's trying to go into a job or anything, but just look presentable. You want to always look presentable.
We talking about sagging and, teens making their own choices when it comes to clothes. I really want to know from both of you, excuse me, how do you avoid shaming your teen, or CC for you, your students, about their body or their clothing choices while still addressing your concerns? I know Danielle sagged at one point too. So Mom, do you want to talk about how, you dealt with that, or talk to him about that?
The biggest thing with him was, first of all, I had to start making adjustments, right? So he would be requesting a 34 in pants and he's a 29 in the waist. So I had at some point to start making adjustments, because I would buy him belts, and it's still sagging. And honestly, that got under my skin, but he would pull them up if I said something. It's not like he was a kid that was like, nah, he wasn't going to honor what I said. But more so that he would tear up the bottom of the pants like that. They would be on the ground dragging, and they would just start getting mad. So that agitated me right there. So we got to a point where we got to understanding as far as that goes. But yeah, as long as when I ask you to do something, you do it, and then we can get on one page to where it just becomes normalized, and then I'm happy with that. As you guys get older, I'm sure it was certain things I started to let slip, and just like I didn't give it energy. But I always come back around to, you should always be presentable. First impression. You don't want anybody necessarily assuming that. But then I had mixed feelings about that, because I feel like, it would be nice I'm just gonna go on this side, like as a black kid, to have the same leeway as someone else from another nationality who also has their pants sagging. But unfortunate, that's not the case. So, while certain things maybe should be in that respect, they're not. And then on the other side of it, it's just not a good look. It's just not a good look. So, as he got older, he got a bit more accepting of that and understood, and I didn't have a issue with that. So you guys, generally, you guys are good kids. I really don't have any complaints. When I said something, usually you guys would abide by, whatever I put down. So, yeah.
What about you, CC? Have you ever show concern for your students and try to put them on game as far as hey, I guess it's cool now, but bro, what do you see yourself doing in the future? That they don't really sag about so-and-so in these corporate rooms, they wear suit and ties. Do you ever speak that over your kids or say anything, or you don't want to overstep?
No,
all the time.
All the time I tell them that. I say, all right, so you're constantly sagging. So what about, I'm like, you want to make some money at some point, right? You want to get a job, start making money. I'm like, what are you going to do when it's time for you to go get a job, time to interview? Oh, well, I'm going to put a suit on, miss. I'm like, you going to be sagging with your suit? No, I'm not going to sag. So I'm like, well, do it here. I'm like, it's a time and a place for everything. So I think it goes sagging for the fellas, and then as far as for the ladies, I feel like whether being revealing, if it's crop tops to my ladies, I'll tell them, I'm like, the outfit, I'm like, girl, the outfit is cute, it's real cute, but this is not the place to be dressing like that. You can at least wear something that, I have a basketball kid, she constantly dress code, belly midriff out, something, skirt is too high, too short, and I'm just kind of like, there's ways to still be cute, and still be in dress code.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't have to be revealing or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
show any, you know, skin that don't need to be shown.
Okay, Miss CC.
Yeah. So
Tell them students, girl. Tell them
anyways,
students.
I'm like, don't throw a camera all on your belly. Don't gotta be out. Just pull it, you know. But I mean, it just depends on, you know, how they're raised and what the household looks like and what's allowed and what's not allowed. So like we said, you know, every household is different. So you never know how they're being raised. So they cannot be getting held accountable at home, but at school, that's the only place where they're getting held accountable. And they're like, well, what are you talking about, miss? Oh, no, like my mom doesn't care if I wear it, but this is dress code. You come to school. So
No, definitely. I really want to know too, guys. You know, we're really big on family, especially family gatherings when we can. I really want to know, Mom, how did you handle situations where we insisted on wearing something inappropriate for, you know, an event or like a family gathering? Like, have you ever had any situations like that? Why did you point immediately, Cece? What are you pointing at?
I'm talking about when we went to Texas and you had that swimsuit during COVID.
Which? Oh,
The blue one?
Yeah.
What was wrong with the blue one?
It was too much.
But again, see, and this becomes a thing. And this is why I have to balance this topic because, and this is why every kid is different because denim, like myself, is busty. Okay.
No, it wasn't even that part. It was the bottom part.
Oh, what's with the bottom part?
I have no booty. I was showing nothing, and that wasn't even a thong. Like,
Out. All of it was out. All of what you had was out. And you was like, I mean, 2020, do the math. You was what, 17? Wearing a bathing suit like that? So I don't know.
See, this is what I mean about my kids are all different. See, we have the conservative one who will wear some shorts, some basketball shorts, short ones with the swimming. with her swimming suit underneath. That's this one right here. And then we have the one who will go full on bikini. This one right here. So for me, I felt a need, like, I understand what it is. Like, I understand what it's like to be very busty at, you know, and things like that. And also, let me also say this. With me, first of all, I was very self-conscious growing up. Like, just period. I was very self-conscious. So, you probably didn't see me. First time I probably wore my stomach out was I was in college. And literally, I was pregnant by the next year. So, so the kids did what they did to me, my body. So, you know, I didn't really get the opportunity to you know, floss like that. So I don't really come too hard because I feel like at some point you're not gonna have that necessarily. And if they get my genes, you know, who knows what is gonna happen after they have kids. So I just feel like, you know, I kind of do feel like a little bit of, if you got it, flaunt it. Like, as Cece got older too, I noticed she started to slim down. So I remember all during high school and everything, we were trying to get her weight down for sports and everything to get her speed up. And then literally she goes away to school and the girl drops pounds. I mean, she can't even gain it back now. And her stomach stay out.
Let me clarify. So I think this because, I mean, like Denim said, she had baby weight. I had baby fat growing up. I was always a thick kid.
Yes.
Thick, a little chunky, stocky. Not too big. I had my phases where I did get.
No, you were seriously just thick. Like, you were seriously just thick. You were solid.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
But you know, like growing up at first, sometimes, you know, like back in the day, you're not thinking, like, people weren't like, oh, I want to be thick. Now in this day and age, everybody want to be thick. But kind of back then, everybody, you know, want to be slim and, you know, this. So it was a challenge. But when I just stopped working out, I lost weight. Like, once I got into my master's program, I think it was related to stress, and just also once I went away to college and, you know, you're not at home, or, you know, meal plan is different in the way that you eat.
And the budget is too.
The budget, exactly. And the budget. So,
amen.
You know,
Amen.
I'm saying I'm crying for help, but, you know, it was just get tired. You have sleep for dinner, and, you know, a lot of fasting. on accident.
A lot of fasting.
Involuntary fasting.
Right. And some
Amen.
of it is voluntary. But yeah.
No, yeah, I don't really think I really tried to wear, from my knowledge, according to my sister, I don't know, but I don't remember wearing anything inappropriate to a family gathering. I did run into a problem where I felt like whatever I was wearing, like, was just starting to affect how guys looked at me, though, in any event setting. And so I had to just start watching that. I feel like I started to just, wear more oversized clothing now, like, over the years. Even if you see me in, like, a tight shirt, like, you'll see me in a baggy bottom. Like, you'll never see me with tight on tight, or rarely you will, because, like, I just don't like the attention, I think, like that from men, or at least that kind of, like, unwanted attention. So yeah, I feel like that's pretty much that, though, that, like, mom, if anything, like, started to, like, speak to me about, was like, what you wear, people are gonna start looking at you differently.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's like that. And there can be, there's guys you can sit next to butt naked and they won't touch you, they won't say anything, they'll mind their manners, all that. Then there are guys who, if you look at them, if you have a shoulder out, then they feel some need to say something, or that they have the right to touch you or be very inappropriate. So unfortunately, this is the world we live in. And so if you're trying to avoid those situations, then you have to do what you can do to avoid. But I will tell you, there are guys, you can be dressed from your forehead down to your toes. They're going to have something to say, they're going to have some way they want to push up on you. You can have a nice smile. And I mean, it's just like that, unfortunately. But, in order to try to avoid that sometimes, that is something to be mindful about. And, at the end of the day, like, I'm at the point now, I feel like, if I'm going to get cute, I'm getting cute for me, and that's just what it is. And sometimes it may be a little bit more form-fitting, and sometimes it's going to be a little more loose-fitting, a little more classy, a little bit more demure and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, I think that you need to dress for yourself.
Yes.
And that's what's most important. Once you start, trying to dress for somebody, then sometimes you end up locking yourself into that, and then you start to not feel like yourself. So be
Definitely.
yourself with your clothing, just period. Just be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know now I kind of lightly touched on this, Mom, but I do want to talk about it, especially with you and Cece. How do you address concerns with your child about how certain clothing choices might attract unwanted sexual attention while still encouraging their freedom to express themselves? We all kind of just touched on this, but I wanted to just, make it a question.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would say I'll be encouraging. Like, if I thought something was valid and cute, I would let you guys ride with it. Like, I have no problem with that. Like, you living in your full womanhood, you establishing whatever that confidence is to walk into any room, really, and to be able to be comfortable. So many things sometimes that we become ashamed of as women.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. And like I said, especially being like very busty, it's like, I can have on a shirt, but I'm still busty. So what is it I can do, and then now, it's just like, whether it's bust or butt, hips or whatever, it's like, even guys, sometimes they just like a silhouette, or some guys like a more athletic build. So if it's a smaller top or bigger bottom, so guys, sometimes if they're trying to see through your clothes, they will see through your clothes. So that's why I say it's really important for you to be confident in what it is you have on, and for you to be mindful of the environment that you're going into. If you're going into an aggressive environment, like if it's like a freak-neek situation and you're wearing revealing clothes, then you understand what type of action that you're inviting. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be mindful, like I said, of where you're going to be, who you're going to be with. Are you with a group of people where you feel a little bit more protected? all that. But really, it's about what it is you feel comfortable in, and that's what it should be about. What do you feel? What do you feel like you look cute in? What are you gonna be comfortable in? What are you not gonna be self conscious in? Right. So if you're feeling like I want to cover up because I'm feeling some kind of way, then that shouldn't be the outfit you put on. If you can't wear it proudly and just, step into it, then don't wear it.
I definitely
Yeah.
agree with you, Mom. I will say, I know I said, I got baggy over the year, and I'm still this way as far as me wearing baggy clothing, but I will say, like, just how Mom was saying earlier, it literally does not matter what you wear. Like, you could wear a trash bag, and men will somehow still find you attractive. Like Mommy said, though, it's just about how you work it and how you embrace, it, and just become confident in yourself. For a long time, I kind of went into a shell because I didn't want that male attention or attraction. But then over time, it was just like, girl, like, you're a beautiful girl, and I don't want you to dim your light trying to, trying to help other people, not feel as touchy with you and be drawn to you the same way. So ladies, just like Mommy said, just rock it, girl. Rock it. Whatever you got in that closet. If you show a little cleavage, girl, and you cute, but you worried about that man, girl, wear that dress. Wear that dress, honey, for real.
Just letting them know it's time and a place, honestly, for things, and just to be mindful of that letting them know that there are people out there that think differently or not, or are thinking differently than you are. You could be going out thinking that, oh, I'm just gonna put this on, I'm gonna rock this outfit, but somebody could be out there, see you and have a whole different perception of, of like how what Mom was saying, of how they think they could get with you, or
Yeah, and those. I mean, there are male predators.
mhm,
There are female predators, but there are predators out there who are looking for it.
definitely. But just constantly reminding them and letting them know, like, if you do see something, speaking up on it, like, or asking, or just trying to see what's going on at home, what's really the home life, or what's their environment like, outside of whether it be school or um, just life, period.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of the segment.
That is the end of segment 2. So now we get into segment 3. Segment 3 is dealing with peer pressure and social expectations. So, ladies, how do you talk, or how should one talk to their teen about peer pressure around fashion, especially when they feel like they need to dress a certain way to fit in?
That is so hard. Parents, go into it though with an open mind and an open heart. Like, you have to be willing to listen. A lot of the times, the generations are just going. The fashion is changing. Even though now we're kind of getting back in to the early 2000s type of fashion, the fashion is still changing and it's still evolving.
Right.
And man, I just had this talk with a close friend of mine the other day. Parents, y'all don't sometimes, y'all don't understand the half of it, especially when it comes to body dysmorphia, or just confidence in general. Surrounding what you wear, wanting especially in high school or college, wanting attention from guys. You're seeing all these other pretty girls get attention, and you're not, you want to start dressing a certain way. So when you're talking to your child, just go into it I know what season you're in right now. However, dressing like this can make you come off as this. Even though you trying to give off this, it's really coming off like this. I think just showing them how they're coming across to a bigger demographic, help them see outside of their current circle or atmosphere. A lot of the times in college, we want to do everything that we want to do in college because we're in the space. I'm on campus 24/7, so I want to do the things that I see or that my friends may experience or see. But it's because I'm in that environment. However, when I start thinking about the environment that's surrounding me outside of just the school environment, it's bigger than that. And I feel like that's what kind of keeps me on a certain I would say line as far as my fashion, where I won't go, because I know that at the end of the day I represent this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just having them see the bigger picture. Don't think so small.
When they feel they need to dress a certain way to fit in, just let them know that basically there's no rush to dress a certain way. You know, if you feel comfortable in what you wear and you like what you wear it. If you don't feel comfortable and you feel like it's pushing, you know, outside of your comfort zone and you're just not ready to step outside that box, then don't. You know, there's no rush. You'll have your time when you feel as though you're ready to tap into that fashion, that style, or whatever's in season, what's not, because like Denim said, things are constantly changing, and people, you know, it could be peer pressure because people may say like, you know, a certain brand is in style or a certain brand isn't.
That's
Like
true.
growing up, it was for me, it was Aeropostale, or like Aeropostale, like a cool little thing. I have maybe like a few shirts or something.
Remember we used to go to Gilly
You had a
Hicks all the
sweater.
time.
Billy Hicks, Abercrombie and Fitch,
Yeah.
Hollister.
So we was in True Religion too.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
a polo.
Yes.
I wore a polo to middle school.
Ooh, polo.
It wasn't a polo. It was a U.S. assassin. It was not a polo. And I got clowned.
I'm
so I
screaming.
kind of was like, Mom, you got to come get me. Like, I'm holding my, it was a big horse. Like, it was not the little tiny, it wasn't the little tiny. I was like, I got to get
Ah!
an outfit.
Kids messing with my budget.
Good. It's a big horse, too. They going to be able to see that one. They was like, that's not polo. That's U.S. And you could see the U.S. I was like, you know. But just with that, like, I mean, I was just, I had to call my mom. I was like, Mom, I need another shirt, you know, basically. So
She
I
did.
in that sense, but I just feel like, you know, just
I don't have a job. You know, I don't have a job. I don't have to work or nothing.
I'm weak.
And
But,
you did bring her that shirt, didn't you?
I sure did. Yes.
But I would
Yes, I did.
just being
I couldn't let them clown her all day. You know, I tried. You know, the kids was a little more advanced and they fashion labels than I thought. I mean, what am I gonna do?
it was hard. It was hard out there for a pimp, for little old CC,
Right.
little old me. But
Right.
I just like all that, like dressing, finding your style. I feel like it comes with being more comfortable with your body. Once you become more confident and comfortable with your body, then I feel like you'll understand what your style sense is, and you're like, oh, that looks good on me. No, that doesn't. Oh, that looks like it could fit my body shape, or maybe it could, maybe it won't. But I just feel like everyone.
Yeah. So, in regards to like fashion and peer pressure, I always like it for if you guys were to stay in your lane, you know. So, and Cece talked about some things that, you know, I'm not gonna let you necessarily be embarrassed like that. So that was a whole like lesson learned, but I think it's important to get to a point where at least like you're confident. I would prefer in that case to just wear a no name brand than a low, I guess, name brand. I guess if that's the case, but really just to be confident enough to, you know, stand in whatever it is, you know. So she could have stood through the day, you know, and made it. She didn't want to get clowned.
I definitely.
So I mean, and I was that mother sometimes with you guys where I just was just as extra as y'all. So I would come up there, bring you things all the time, honestly, between you and your little sister. I would be back and forth at the schools.
Whoa, hold on. That's so not true. What? Please, I want to know 5 things you brought me to the school, Mom. Because I've
never brought you something to eat.
Mom, you barely, Mom. I used to be at school eating the school lunch. You know this.
Did you not ever forget things at home, like homework, and I had to bring that up to the school?
Okay, maybe homework, Mom, maybe. But, like, come on, lady. It was not more than 5 times. Like, there's no way. Like, if I forgot, y'all, I remember, because Mom, I'm going to stop packing my lunches. I was pretty young. Like, I remember I was going to school at some point, but, like, Mom, this is not hating on your parenting at all, okay? I used to go to school, though, with the ramen noodle packs. And we're not talking about the cup of noodle one where you add the water. We're talking, like, the ramen noodle
You got the
pack. I was going there, and I was making the little chips with it and just putting the seasoning on top. She was not packing my lunch, okay? Let's just get
Hold
that.
on, pause. That was not even on me. That was something you wanted to do. I didn't even know that was even an invention. That's
we
some
go,
stuff
kids.
you wanted to do.
Growing up faster than we want to. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to pack my own lunches and be an adult and look at me at school. I was starving.
So what role does social media play in shaping your teens' fashion choices, and how do you address its influence?
It's the main role. I don't even got to think about this. Social media, slash culture, I'm going to put them in the same category because it is. They are, you know, the main role in today's fashion. I think that's really what made streetwear become so popular, and even vintage wear, because social media, you know, made it to be that way. Um, I don't really think that it's something that we address as Gen Z, at least. Like we know why, but like nobody's gonna sit here and change the fact that Instagram or TikTok is influencing, you know, our fashion. We're not gonna change that. We're gonna actually keep using that. We're gonna keep using Pinterest. We're gonna keep using these things to fit this, you know, bubble, or to hit this mark on fashion to appease who we're trying to appease, you know?
But I think, I mean, it's social media. So media does that. It gives the subliminal messages, sometimes direct things, but sometimes you just are not noticing how much you're being influenced. That's the job of media, you know, in general. So yeah, you put it in the form that you all have it, and it's constantly around you. And a lot of times with many things, not just clothes, but you know, you guys are influenced. That's why people are called influencers, right?
Right.
So you're influenced by what it is you see on these different mediums, and you don't even realize it. It creates you guys your norms, you know.
That's true.
Very true. Very true. I can agree with that too. I feel like social media does play a big role because a lot of people are, scrolling nowadays, and it's just like you open your phone, you see, oh well, what's the next big thing? Oh, well, what's going on? You see, the some rapper's baby mama wearing some outfit that's starting a trend, or they starting to do a new trend, or and I feel like it falls into the whole category, like we said, like the whole peer pressure of wanting to like fit into society. I feel like there's a peer pressure of wanting to fit in for a lot of people, or what the American dream, or the what it's supposed to look like to dress. But I feel like there is no set like what you're supposed to look like. But I feel like social media kind of depicts that nowadays, and it kind of is you kind of, I don't want to say used, but interpreted in a negative way sometimes, and it can cause a lot of body dysphoria, or what's it called again?
Dysmorphia, yeah.
Body and you just constantly comparing yourself, and this makes people constantly think back or compare themselves, like, oh, why don't I look like that in this, or well, they look like that in this, and well, they're at this point in their life wearing this, and they're doing this, or maybe they're doing so big. People could be putting on a facade or wearing something that's fake or not even real.
This is true.
I feel like it's honestly a facade at the end of the day, and I feel like social media can just honestly, I don't know, I want to say peer pressure, like a lot of people out there.
Yeah, it's a bigger form of peer pressure. Yeah, definitely.
Or basically, it kind of makes people want more in a way, like
it creates like a demand for these things.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Sure. I think that's even why children or teens expect the name brands and the all that like high fashion stuff in middle school, maybe even younger, because that's all they're seeing on social media.
Yeah.
But I will say one of my best friends, she was off of social media. She couldn't have social media until we got to high school, I believe. But
you're gonna have to edit her.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish my point.
Yeah.
One of my close friends, she wasn't allowed to have social media until high school, and I will say that definitely made a huge difference in like what she deemed as like in style. Like all that was like out the window, because it's like we only see what we see at school for real, and outside of that, like, you're not really on social media, so you can't really see that. So maybe parents, maybe we should restrict social media up until a certain age to kind of help with that problem, because social media is the main problem as far as like influence on fashion, especially kid fashion. Kids, I was in Live in Maddie shoes, I was in Payless shoes, I was in all that, and I was still looking cute. Okay, and my gender reset.
And another part of that, very true. And another part of that is too, like I said, I wasn't really big into labels like that. I wasn't very blatant with it. I like very classic things. I like very timeless things.
Yeah.
Some of the labels back then weren't just like the popular labels, but they were like I liked kind of like more like edgy. I like fashion that you couldn't find everywhere, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
Leather. That leather.
um, it it was more so about the fashion versus the label of it too. And then yes, as you guys start to get more exposed to social media, then you get to learn about all these other like what people are wearing, and then that's to me like when all the name brand and labeling kind of came into play.
Yeah.
So, I went with it to some extent. It wasn't something I would do a little bit of mix, which I'm more of like the high-low person. Like, you never know. Like this thing, I could have on some $500 shoes and a $20 shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. So it's just like whatever it is that looks good. And I think you guys, especially as, you've gotten older, have, adopted that same sort of thing. But it definitely has an influence, because I remember when it was like a thing to have expensive items, right? Mm-hmm. Very expensive name brand. And then Fashion Nova came along, right? Yeah. And then they had certain influencers wear it. Certain celebrities got like lines, and all of a sudden people are shopping on Fashion Nova.
Totally. Honestly, I was going to say the same thing, but with New Balance. Honestly, when I was younger, New Balances were seen as the granny shoe. They weren't like seen as a streetwear shoe up until now. I'm in college, and like they're in those. I think another brand starts with the A, but another like
A6.
Yes.
That's and those are always been really good.
Shoe.
Those are just really good workout shoe, like exercising, like they're actually like good to wear, and they're good for the foot typically. So totally. I think
when I was a kid, if I would have worn those compared to somebody who walked next to me in J's, it would not have been like, oh my god, like those are so cool. It would have been like, what are those? Like that's not that whole what are those thing was in. So that would have been that at the time. Like, it's changed now. It's bad now. Seriously. But y'all gotta remember, kids are gonna run around in dirt. I'm talking like elementary school at least. Kids are gonna run around in dirt, and even middle school, like they'll still mess up shoes. So I can understand giving them, a nice few pairs of shoes, some J's here and there. But man, get them some running shoes, some comfy running shoes, so that you ain't gotta worry about them creasing their Air Force Ones at pre-K or kindergarten. And now you mad because they didn't crease and stain them. Save yourself the troubles.
Oh, now they mad because they didn't crease it. Yeah, now they're mad at the shoes, not me. But because I remember I've seen crazy things you guys do with shoes, like put inserts inside the shoe, like to keep it hard, keep it from creasing.
As a kid, though, I wouldn't care, but as we get older, like you got to keep your Air Force Ones fresh, clean. It's spa day, steamed and all. Mm-hmm. So, that is the end of this segment. All right, guys, so we are getting to the end of this lovely episode. We are at the real life scenario portions, as y'all know. We give 2 to 3 different scenarios, and we want to know what you guys would do if this was you. So please DM us if y'all would do anything different, or if y'all agree with, some of our answers, or at least me, at least my answers. Cece, are you ready for your first real life scenario game with me and Mom?
I think I'm as ready as I can be.
All right, girl, let's do it. Mommy and Cece, your teen wants to wear something revealing to a party, but you don't think it's appropriate. How do you approach the conversation?
Hey, sweetie. I know this is an outfit that you really, really wanna wear, but at this occasion, I just don't feel like it's the appropriate time for you to wear something like this. It's a bit revealing. So I just think you could use a different outfit for this event, and I feel like we could wear and save this for another time when the time is right. But I think right now this is just not appropriate for right now.
And scene, yes. Okay, Mom, you ready? 3, 2, 1, action.
Girl, I can see your areola. Go put something on to cover up.
Areola.
No, Mom. No.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am. Go put something else on, cover up, close it up. Let's button that up. Let's do something else different, okay?
I think I will meet y'all somewhere in the middle. She's talking about some girl. I can see your areola. Please. I feel like I would be like, you going out like that? Okay. I mean, girl, you cute. You know what I'm saying? You know, back in the day, your mama used to, too. But girl, this is not for this event, girl. Go change. Girl, we'll wear that to the club when you're 21, all right? All right, cool. Okay. Scenario 2. Mommy and Cece, are you ready?
Yes.
Your teen constantly pushes the boundaries with their fashion choices. You told them no multiple times. How do you find a compromise?
Well, if I've said no multiple times, then I don't find a compromise. If one day they're going to be gone off to school or out with some friends, I'm going to go into their bedroom, take out the items I don't like, and that's what they'll be stuck with.
Okay. Cece?
But I know that point. Restate the question again.
Your teen constantly pushes the boundaries with their fashion choices. You've even told them no multiple times to what they've been trying to wear. How do you find a compromise?
So you can wear it in the house, but you can't wear it outside the house.
Okay.
All right, guys, that's the end of our real life scenarios. Share your own stories of your teens trying to act grown, they're going out like that, looking cray-cray. Let us know, though, and, how did y'all handle it, and what advice do you guys have for other parents? We want to know. Leave it down in the comments below or DM us at The Biz Podcast.
That's right. And here we go. We are coming into our wrap-up question. So, question is...
Wrap it up question.
What is the best advice, the best piece of advice for parents trying to balance their teens' fashion choices with their own family values? Best piece of advice. Cece, you're our guest. Let us know.
Best piece of advice, I would say be understanding and find a compromise with your teen. If it's something that you don't approve of and it's really something that you just don't want them to wear, I say if you bought it, take it. If it's your money, just take it. But if it's like a piece of clothing, if they still under your roof, I say if it's something that you don't want them to wear, have a conversation with them. Sit down, just be real with them.
Okay.
And
Yes, I would second that. Come to them, like Cece said. As an understanding parent, you once was a teen trying to party, trying to look cute, you know what I'm saying? So, come to them from that perspective, as if you were once in their shoes because you were.
I did not check it out.
Because you were. And, yeah, just make sure everything that you're saying it with love. You're saying it with love. Love is so important. It could really change the dynamic of a conversation and the energy.
Absolutely. I definitely would say give them a reason behind the because I said so on that one.
Yes.
I definitely would say that, talk to them about what your concerns may be in regards to how they're dressed. Let them know that it's because you do care about what's going on with them presently as well as their future, as well as things that can possibly happen. So let them know that you're coming from a good place. You're looking out for them. You have their back. All that good stuff. Keep encouraging them to be their beautiful selves. I'm so happy that I was able to be joined by both of my beautiful daughters today. So this was such a pleasure, such a gift. To have you both here. So I really enjoyed this, guys. Thank you so very much. You guys get back to us and let us know what it is you think and how it is you would handle this situation, how it is you think you should talk to your teens when they're dressing inappropriately. We definitely look forward to hearing from you guys.
Well, guys, what an episode. I just want to say I'm so happy that my older sister could come on Biz. Cece, sis, how did you like Biz?
Girl, I loved it. I loved every moment. I love spending time with y'all. I just love y'all so much, and I appreciate y'all for just having me on the show.
Well, we loved having you. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you, ladies.
Absolutely. This was so much fun. I really enjoy having both of my girls on this show. So I just want everybody to remember parenting is a journey. We're all learning as we go. And of course, we hope that you enjoyed this episode today. I had my special guest in here, big girl Cece.
Woo, 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 woo.
Yes, y'all. And if you like what you heard today, please make sure you guys follow us on all platforms at the BISS Podcast.
And share this podcast with a new mommy or maybe someone who needs to hear this.
Make sure you tune in every Wednesday for a new topic. And if your child wants to question your parenting skills, what do we tell them?
Bis, please.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Because I said so.